to the Inspired Evolution. I feel like you're waiting for that. It is such a pleasure to be here today. We have the vibe from Psyman OChen. Psyman.
Hello.
How are you, brother?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Yeah, really good, really good. Why are we here today? We basically dropped in at Energy, right?
That's right.
Yeah, it was awesome to connect with you there. And you've got the most ridiculous story, which is basically what inspired this podcast.
It's a bit out there.
I almost want to share it, but I think it'll be better coming from you.
Do my best.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what went on. So you've gone traveling.
I like to call it a walkabout.
Yeah.
I went on a walkabout 5 years ago, 2013. Building up to that, I was struggling, I think like most people in life, just trying to figure things out. I was 31 at the time. I was working in hospitality and being pushed into a corner by my employee, and to a point where I had to quit. Yeah. It was done. And I had to sit with myself and think, well, what do I actually want out of life? You know, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to get to? And I think the main issue for me was that I've never had aspirations for financial wealth. I've never been a money chaser and be after that and have stuff and luxury and that kind of thing. And I had to sit down with myself and think, you know, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? You know, I just quit this job, lucrative as it was at the time. But I wasn't happy. And what is more important than your own personal happiness in order to continue to fulfill your own life, right?
Profound.
And your own potential. So my mother came to visit from abroad, and we spent with her partner, and we spent a few days in Tasmania. And it was one of those things where we're in this homestay and middle of nowhere, and I was just taking a shower, and this whole thing of what am I doing with my life is playing on a loop in my head, and it's a bit like a cyclone building up, whirling around, and then suddenly we're from category 1 to category 5, and unleashed. And in the shower, I was just like, I need to hit the road. I need to travel. I need to see the world. I need to step outside of society.
Yeah, right.
And observe it and try and understand why am I so confused about this societal behavior and where it's all going. And so 5 weeks after that revelation, I hit the road. I just packed everything up. I didn't have any binding contracts. I didn't have anything to keep me in place. I wasn't in a relationship, nothing. So I basically packed my car up, drove from Melbourne to Darwin, got rid of the car, found a boat to Indonesia, and got on the boat to Indonesia, where I met a guy called Bazza, who was traveling around the world as well. He'd been 2 months on this boat, coming up from New Zealand. Right. And we were sharing our stories. So I'm going to go from New Zealand to Scotland to visit my mother, and I'm going to go up overland through China and stuff. And I said, well, I'm going around the world as well without flying. But I'm going the other way. I'm going to South America. And so we ended up traveling together all the way up to Thailand. Yeah. And then from Thailand, I found a boat sailing to South Africa. And Basil went on his way and made it to Scotland without flying. Yeah. And he's got his website was Going the Long Way Home. And his work was all about also not using money, rather doing charitable work with charitable organizations on his way to promote them. Yeah. And I really wanted to, on my travels, I wanted to help out with the environment and spread that message. That was very important for me. And so when I left to travel, my thoughts were, A, how do I do this? B, how do I do this without using money? And C, why am I doing this? Because you know how parents get. When I told my mother, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to hitchhike. I'm going to not use money.
She's probably packing your lunch for you.
Is it pie for the road? I'm going to exchange my skills for food and bed. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a nomad. Yeah. And you know, the first instinct for a mother, I guess, is, what about settling down? What about getting married? What about children. I want grandkids and all
Safety,
this.
security.
And I said to her, Mum, that's what you want. I don't want that. I'm not interested in that. I've never been able to settle down. I've always been moving around. And so she finally came to terms with it and settled into the idea. And so I sailed from Thailand to South Africa with a few stops on some islands on the way with just two guys that I'd never met before. And that was 5 months at sea. And we hit Cape Town. And before we hit Cape Town, I'd already lined up a boat heading to South America, to Brazil for the World Cup, because this was 2014. And I was really aching to go. And I reached South Africa, and I get an email from the captain of the boat that I had lined up saying he had to set sail earlier. Yeah. So I missed that boat. And I thought, well, I guess that's just, a sign that I don't need to go to South America right now. I should head north to Jerusalem, to the Middle East, which is where I'm from. I'm from the Middle East, and I figured, well, it's been a while since I've been home, so all right, let's go up through Africa. So I spent 2 years hitchhiking from Cape Town to Jerusalem.
Wow.
When I hit Kenya, I got stuck because I couldn't get an overland visa to Ethiopia, and so I was basically forced to take a flight from Nairobi to Addis Ababa. Other than that, everything was done by land and sea.
So what was the sorry, I know it's but I'm aching to get to, like, why no flying?
So the first motivation to not fly was the cost of it.
Sure.
The second was environmental impact.
Yeah. That
everyone who flies, because now flying is relatively easier and affordable to almost everyone.
Accessible, yeah.
So everyone's on it. There's more planes in the skies than birds, I think.
Yeah.
And so that, and plus when you fly, it's quite a shock when you enter a new land. Because all airports are built the same. It's just a shopping centre with buses with wings. Yeah. Outside.
With $15 sandwiches.
Triple become this thing like, oh my god. Let's not go there. Yeah. And when you step out of an airport, you step into, it's like a grenade that goes off. You step into this grenade and it explodes. Of culture and language and noise you have no idea about, you've never seen before. It's all in your face. Everyone's coming. Sir, taxi, what taxi? You don't know where to look, left or right. I just stepped out of an air-conditioned shopping centre with a plane, and
this is what.
Where do I go? Everyone's getting ripped off left, right, and center because on one side they see the emerging tourists from the airport as a cash machine. And on the other side, the emerging tourist is like, I'm going to get robbed and scammed and all that. Whereas you travel by land, you gradually enter cultures because every culture is quite similar. The one you left to the one you're entering, it will always have that bridging, that over the bridge type of marriage type of thing.
The edge of the ecology.
And so it's a smoother transition. There's less surprise. You're more ready for everything that's about to hit you. Yeah. And also, land borders are a lot less busy than airport lines. And also the airport, you have to reach there 3 hours earlier. Yeah. And, I can do a lot more in those 3 hours than waiting around.
So you're traveling through Africa for 2 years?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and the reason it took that long is I decided after the boat, when you're on a boat, you're on the captain's schedule. What the captain says goes. Yeah. Like, he says, we go now, you go now. You don't even have time to say goodbye. I learned the art of ninja bombing quite well. So in Africa, when I jumped ship, because he continued sailing up the west coast to France, I decided, all right, now on my time, I'm going to stay in each country as long as the visa lets me. So I averaged 3 months in most places. Kenya, I stayed longer. I think in total it was 7 or 9 months, but with bouncing to Uganda twice. And then the rest, Ethiopia was a month, Sudan. I only got a transit visa through Sudan, so that was 2 weeks, and then Egypt 3 weeks, and then, Israel.
Any challenges going through Africa, like not being the darkest of complexions?
It was interesting. I think because of my lighter shade of grey, I got a lot more respect and a lot more. it was almost as though everything that had come from the colonization of the European powers in Africa, it still echoed.
Yeah.
For instance, although all the African nations are now independent, they still worship, in most sub-Sahara countries, Jesus is the main form of worship. You worship Jesus. Jesus is a white man. So essentially they're still worshipping that lighter shade of grey.
Yeah.
And to me it really bugged me because they would go out of their way to help me. And I'd ask them, would you do this to your neighbour? And they would say, no. We don't, no. And I noticed it's something everywhere, not just in Africa, but all places. People will go out of their way to help out a foreigner to show to them, hey, we're not like we're portrayed on the news. But then why don't they do that to their neighbour? Just someone on the street. How often do you walk down the street and say, hi, hello, g'day, how you doing? Just spreading that salutation in the morning.
I kind of do.
Which is fantastic. I do as well. But how many people out there actually do that, right? Whereas in Africa, you can't take a step without someone having a half-hour conversation with you just to find out a little bit about where you're from and your culture, which is fantastic. And I think that's how life should be. You walk down the street, you're connecting with so many people, and I come back to Australia and I'm on the train, everyone's like this.
Yeah.
And I just look around. I love people watching on the train and the trams. I just watch and think, wow, no one's talking to each other. No one's looking at each other. I remember one time I took the train to a friend's dinner and it was quite packed and this man had gotten on. He was carrying bags and there was a bit of space on the bench I was sat. So I made some more room and he sat down. And the first thing he did was not take out his phone. He just sat there. And I was just sitting there. And I'm looking around. Everyone's on their phone. And I just turned to him and said, g'day. He said, oh, hey, how you doing? I said, great. I'm Simon. I'll be a co-passenger for this ride. And we just had an amazing conversation. And this man told me these adventures of traveling up to Darwin in the outback in the 70s after Cyclone Tracy.
Whoa.
And just these incredible stories that we shared. And at the end, I was like, hey, I've got to get off this station. It was really great conversing with him. And he said, thank you for the conversation. This was great. Hope to see you again on the line. That's what I do on planes as well. When I do occasionally fly, I just turn to the person next to me and say, hi, I'm Simon. I'll be a passenger for this flight. And just start a conversation, in taxis. My mother would, she'd just look at me sometimes after a taxi ride. Like, I don't know, you just talk to the driver and have a conversation. I said, yeah, it's people. It's weird to sit in a car and not converse with the driver.
Not talk to them.
When my friends grab Ubers and I'm with them, I'll always try and engage the driver. Whereas my friends will give me this eye like, what are you doing, man? It's chill.
So was that connection with humans something that was always a part of your life, or was that cultivated through your travels more?
I think I've always been that kind of person, just as high and that kind of wanting that connection. I think because I had a lonely childhood, so I think I'm always looking for reconnecting.
Yeah.
And obviously through traveling, it cultivated to a lot more where I would walk down the street and I would notice people just looking at me and they would have this stare in their eye like, who's this guy? This angry sort of look. Almost menacingly, and you don't know, should I cross the street? And, I would just go, hi. And suddenly they would light up and smile and the whole energy, it's like, all you have to do is smile and people go from that to, hey, man, where you going? What are you doing? How are you?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's fascinating. The power of a smile. I remember when I first moved to Melbourne, it was just, I noticed distinctly that especially at the end of work when you'd be walking home, people were just not in a happy place.
No.
There's not very many smiles. Everybody's buttoned down and heads down, and
because they're locked in from what society demands of them.
The big energy, energy that they're putting out to.
And then people say, "Oh, I could never do what you do. I'm too scared. I'm too that." I was terrified.
Yes, tell us more about that.
I left on May 13th in 2013. Nothing specific about the date. It just turned out to be a good number to travel. And I left at 6:30 in the morning. And at 6:15, I sat in my car. And my hands were on the wheel because they're shaking. I was grabbing the wheels so they stopped shaking. And the whole car shook. That's how scared I was. Because in my mind, my subconscious is going, dude, what are you doing? What the? If you go and look behind you and I look around, there's my surfboard and there's my car's full of little possessions that I have, my subconscious goes, what are you doing, man? You're just going to leave all this, and I look at the house.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? What's going to be out there? I said, I don't know. Let's find out. Turn the car engine and off I went.
Yeah.
That was it. Because we need fear, right? People say you shouldn't be afraid of anything because it's not healthy. You need fear because without fear, you don't have that challenge to take that step over the edge. And once you take the step over the edge, everything falls into place. As long as you get over that first step, the next step will follow so fluidly and so smoothly. And then the next step. And then before you know it, you're in a rhythm. And you look back and you think, I was scared of this. Taking a step. That's crazy.
That's so inspirational.
Just take that first step.
Take that first step.
Yeah.
Talking about steps, you didn't step, like, how did you go spending so much time on water? Like time at sea. Like, was this something you'd done before your travels? Did you know that you were going to be comfortable out at sea?
I had no idea. I'd never sailed before. Because, with traveling you're supposed to step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. Right?
You have to challenge yourself. That's how we grow. And I didn't do it on purpose. That was not it's not like I went out and thought, all right, how do I challenge myself and put myself in the most uncomfortable zones that I know for myself? I have a connection with water. My last name is Ocean. My uncle's last name is Wasserman, which means waterman. I was born under the stars on Aquarius. I like to say that I originated from Neptune. And we are 70% water. This planet is 70% water. Wrongly named Earth.
Yeah, it's more water than Earth. Thank you.
And I've always swum. I've always been very comfortable in water from a very young age. My only issue with water was if I couldn't see the bottom, then I would be apprehensive. Yeah. Then I would be, okay, I can't go there. I don't know what's down there. Because I grew up on a lot of documentaries. I would watch all documentaries that I could. And this is before internet, so whatever was on TV basically is what I was fed. Yeah. And so I really love the documentaries about marine life. Yeah. And as a kid, on my bedroom walls, I didn't have posters of rock stars or sporting heroes. I had a poster of a great white shark with all the information about it, and I had a tapestry of tigers around a waterfall. Yeah, right. That was I had one poster of Samantha Fox. It was Samantha Fox. But other than that, it was animals. Yeah. And so when I left Melbourne, I moved to Lorne, which is where I worked in hospitality and had to quit after 2 years. And while I was in Lorne, I taught myself how to surf. And then that connection to the water, to riding a wave, or allowing the wave, or the wave allowing me to ride it. Yeah. That was it. That was like the marriage. Yeah. That was like you and I, till death do us part. Beautiful. And so when I hit Darwin and sailed to Indonesia, that was quite easy because it was an 8-day sail with a crew of 8. Yeah. Calm waters, the Timor Sea. And you've got a giant island behind you, and you've got a string of 16,000 islands in front of you. So if anything happens, someone will find you. Yeah. When I hit the Indian Ocean. Yeah. So we encountered a lot of storms. Yeah. Big storms. I don't get seasick. That's something that I discovered quite early on in my life. I don't get seasick. And so when we hit those first storms, I can tell you that shitting bricks is basically the way I tell it is that first storm that we hit, I froze, sat down, shat bricks. From those bricks, built a safe house and hid in that safe house. So I was at sea for 5 months with a few stops on islands.
You built a few safe houses along the way.
So gradually the safe house, I gradually took the bricks away because I realized these storms pass. Yeah. Everything will pass. That's something the sea told me. Everything will pass. The shit will the turmoil and all that, it'll happen and it'll stay for like 20 minutes, and in that moment you think, oh my God, this is it. We're done. We're finished. We're dead in the water. And then it passes and it's all calm, like, whoa, that's it?
That's so profound.
That was nothing. And then another one comes, you're like, oh, that's something.
Yeah.
And I remember sailing down west coast of Madagascar, and Manu, the first mate, tells me a story. He says, you know, Simon, some years ago, my father has a friend, and he sails these same hotels in the same time of year. And one day, you know, Francois is always telling you to close the porthole. Francois is the captain. I said, yeah, man, why can't I just leave the porthole open, you know, what's the matter? Because this wave come in, and so much water squeezed through a small hole, thousands of liters. What happened to Dad's friend? He sunk with the boat. In these waters, I look at the depth rate at 848 meters. And I'm thinking, wow, that's something I didn't want to know. You could have waited till we're on land and told me that story. So now we're sailing in these waters, the very same waters as his father's friends had sunk. And then that night he's cooking in the galley. I'm in my cabin. I'm just watching a movie on my laptop. Usually I watch films and I'll have headphones in and the volume's at 8 or 10. That night I had to bring it up to 60 until I was, you know, it was too loud. I was like, what's going on? I can't hear anything. All I could hear is this howling, roaring wind coming from outside. I look through the porthole and it's just it's black. I get up and I come up to the deck and the captain's there and he's navigating. And the captain's got this blissful look on his face, like he's just like that. And I look around and it's like we're in a can of black paint. It's like a black hole. No light can escape. I've never seen this kind of darkness anywhere.
Right.
It's just pitch black. I'm looking around.
No stars.
And no stars, nothing. Lightning rips the sky open. If you've ever been underwater and you see a wave roll over, you see that ripple effect? The whole sky is like that. That's the cloud. Huge cloud. There's nothing on the horizon. It's just pitch black. I'm looking up, seeing these ripples. The captain's all blissed out. He goes, read the wind reader. So I look at the wind reader. It says 58 knots. 58 knots is 107 kilometers an hour. That's a lot of wind, which is why it's roaring. So I'm standing there looking around going, holy shit.
Yeah.
And I see the captain's quite calm, which made me really calm. You know, I was like, well, if he's not panicked, why should I panic?
Yeah.
And I look behind and the phosphorus plankton is lit up and it's like hyperspace. Because we're not sailing, we are flying, we're just on the water.
Yeah.
And it turns out we're in the eye of the storm, which is why the waters are relatively calm. And we were just, but we're heeling on like a 55-degree angle, because it's a monohull, the boat. And so I'm sitting up there with him and just enjoying it's almost like a serenity. It's weird to say. It was quite peaceful.
Peaceful in the eye of the storm.
And then, and so Manu's making up dinner, so I head down to help him out into the galley. And we're cooking around, and he says, okay, get a can of chickpeas from the pantry. So I turn around, get a can of chickpeas from the pantry, turn back, and this wave has popped open the porthole, and it's just come in for dinner without being invited.
Oh.
Now, I've never seen such a vast amount of water squeeze through a tiny opening and start to fill us up. Manu jumps on the porthole, locks it, turns off the gas at the same time, and we're standing like just underneath deep water.
Yeah.
And he turns to me and he goes, turn on the bilge pump. So, you know, I lift up the floorboards and try and kick in the bilge pump. It's not working. Manu, it's not working. Manu tries to kick it. It's not working. He turns to me and says, Simon, now we bail. I said, far out. We've got to bail the boat? Are you kidding me? We're off the shores of Madagascar. They don't have roads, let alone the ability to launch a search and rescue operation in the middle of the night in a freaking storm with 58 knot winds. I'm jumping ship, mate.
Yeah.
Manu gives me a bucket and says, Simon, we bailed the boat with water. Also, you could have opened with that. And I sit in the water and I'm passing out buckets of water. Yeah. 3 hours later, we've dried up the place like it never happened. I don't know to this day if the captain has any idea what happened. He's out there in his good state.
Riding in the eye of the storm.
So we're high-fiving and hugging, good to be alive and floating. And then Manu says, Simon, this is a good experience for you, huh? I said, yeah, I guess. No, because now you can say you are a sailor. I said, Manu, I've been with you guys 4 months. 2 months ago, I've already claimed myself as a sailor. He says, no, Simon, you don't understand. Did you notice maybe there weren't any other sailboats? I started to think, actually, you're right. we didn't pass a single other sailboat. We passed freighters, cargo ships, the occasional fishing boat, which I thought were pirates, and every time they approached us, but it turns out they were just fishing boats.
Yeah.
That was it. No other sailing boats. Manu, why weren't there other sailing boats? Hey, it's not the season. Manu, what season is this? It is cyclone season. Manu, this is cyclone season. Wait. Why are we sailing in cyclone season? Captain loves it. I love it. Now you love it. Manu, love is a strong word. And next time you should lead with, by the way, we're going to be sailing into cyclone season when you invite people to sail. Not that I would have said no, I would have said yes. But still.
Amazing. But
yeah, that was incredible. So when we rounded the Cape of Good Hope and encountered 14-foot swells, I was blissed as the captain. While the other crew, Manu had left in Madagascar, and we picked up this couple, and they were struggling. Yeah. They were, even though they took seasick tablets, they were just bringing up everything that they try to keep down.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, which gave me a lot of respect for the water, a lot of renewed respect. Yeah, because that's when I understood water as not just the most powerful element on Earth, but actually the most powerful element in the universe. Because it's found in the universe. It's in cloud form, traveling through the universe, like trillions of liters. They found this cloud form back in 2011, way out somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, and the fact that water gives life and takes life, we all come from water. The water is abundant and everywhere all the time, in liquid, solid, and paper. That it's transparent, so there's no bullshit. Right? It is what it is. And it can be merciless and merciful. And it can spread disease or it can spread good energy. It cleanses. Yeah. You come out of the ocean or the shower, you feel refreshed, you feel rejuvenated. And that made me realize that's what we should be worshipping. Water. Water is the holy grail. Not everything else that we've been told, which is led to basically destroying nature and ourselves as beings.
Yeah.
And so those 5 months really changed my approach to water.
Yeah, there's a profound energy behind the water and polluting it in a really intense way. And I think a lot of it was, a lot of that basically hit a head recently with the pipelines in South America. Through America actually, right? Was it America?
Standing Rock you're talking about? Yeah.
And I'm kind of going to use that as a bit of a segue to dive into music because you basically supported yourself through your travels by playing.
Yeah, I call it using music as currency.
Yeah. Tell us more about that.
So
was that the intention from the outset?
That was not the intention. When I started traveling, I was a lost soul.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really know what I was looking for. I just knew I had to go.
Yeah.
And I knew that I can play guitar and sort of sing. And I'd only just started playing on stage in front of people in Lawn, just open mic nights.
Yeah.
Get up, play a few songs, and I'd be so nervous. And then when I had that revelation of I have to go traveling, and then my subconscious said, how are we going to support ourselves? I said, just play music. Who's going to say no to music? And I just hoped I was good enough. And so as I started traveling, I couldn't play any music until I reached Darwin because my guitar, I only realized on my travel in the start, it was broken. And so only when I reached the town of Catherine in the outback, about 4,500 kilometers after leaving Melbourne, could I fix my guitar, find the implement that I needed.
Yeah.
And so only after Catherine I started to jam around fires when I was camping.
Yeah.
Then I hit Darwin, did a few open mic nights, and then as I started traveling, it started to kick in. People see the guitars, hey, come on, let's have a jam, let's start jamming. And it only really took effect in Africa, because it was weird. In Thailand, I was on the island of Koh Phangan, and I had a scooter accident. Very minor accident. So I got what you call the Koh Phangan tattoo. And there were a few scratches on the bike. And I told my host, look, I'll get the money I'll take responsibility. It's my fault, my action. I will take action to fix it.
Yeah.
Turns out the street gang owned the bike, and they realized that a foreigner, a Falang, had crashed it, and they wanted to make ends meet for that money. Clear out the mortgage.
Yeah.
So I was being extorted, and so I went around the island looking for places to gig, and I got a gig, and I was paid, and it was one of the worst gigs I've ever played.
Right.
Because money was involved.
Right.
And when I hit the shores of Africa and just started to play, just for myself, and then seeing that it actually was getting people dancing and happy and smiling, I thought, oh, maybe I'm not that bad. And I can use this as currency to get around. Who's going to say no to music?
Yeah.
Music is for the soul. And music is a language everyone can understand.
Yeah.
You know?
It's language, doesn't it? Yeah.
It does. It's intergalactic, right?
Yeah.
And so music, I found on my travels, music gravitates people to its source. Whenever you walk past somewhere and you hear a good song, you stop. Like, oh, what's that? Where's that coming from? You start to look for it.
Yeah.
You go to a festival,
and you hear something.
and there's a lot of stages, and you go, oh, I don't know where to go, I don't know who to see, and then you walk around, and that song, that frequency grabs you, and you gravitate towards it. You want to see who's making that frequency that is making you feel elated and joyful and happy, and just everything else crumbles away because you're just in that moment with music, nothing else. Nothing else is important, just that music.
Mm-hmm.
And when I realized, oh, it gravitates people to the source, I would play, and I would approach. So I would never worry about where I was going to sleep in the evenings when I get to a destination at night. If I had a host lined up, obviously I'd stay with a host. If I didn't have a host lined up, sometimes the driver that would pick me up would say, where are you staying tonight? Why don't you stay with me and my family? I think they would love to hear your story and maybe play some music for us. And I've had to play music on rides as well sometimes. So I would say, hey, play us a guitar. You're on barter, so let's exchange. You get a ride here. And a lot of times when I didn't have anywhere to stay, I'd reach a town at 6 p.m. It's black. It's pitch black at night. Walk around, see a hotel, walk in. Can I play music for your guests? I'm not asking for money. Just a bed, something to eat. In the morning, I'm gone. Sure. All right. Yeah. So you get a few no's on the way as well. Sometimes places are fully booked. They don't have enough guests. They don't understand the concept. Like what I'm saying. It's really hard to say, don't want money. And they just look at me like, no. No, you cannot live like this. I am. Exactly what I'm doing.
Challenging their internal belief systems about everything.
The amount of times people have said to me, no, that is impossible. You cannot do this. And I will tell them, nothing is impossible. Look to the sky. We have satellites. We have planes moving people from one land to another in hours. What used to take years and months has come down to hours.
Yeah.
You're telling me it's impossible to travel without using money and without flying.
Yeah.
I can't buy that. Impossible is spelled I-impossible. Shared as that is, nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
In my world, at least. I can't accept that. I don't accept that in my vocabulary. Possible and perfect are words that should never exist.
Tell us more about why perfection exists.
Because perfection is only how you define it. No one else can walk by and say, that's perfect. Because everyone's going to say, if you did it like this, or if you did it like that. So to them, they have to change it for themselves for it to be perfect.
Yeah.
But for you, when you create whatever it is that you've created, and you look at it and go, that is perfect. For you. Someone else will come by it. Do that. But no, that's perfect for me. It's not for you. You want to do it perfect? You go and make it. And the same with people. No one's perfect. There's no such thing. We all come from this conditioned society that has really screwed us up. To a point that the only thing that is perfect is the air that we breathe. Because without imperfections, you're not going to be challenged. And if everything is perfect, how are you going to grow? Kind of thing. Yeah. So words, there are words out there that shouldn't shouldn't be used or exist.
Amazing. I love how you tied that back into the beginning, which is basically challenges growth. There's been some really profound nuggets. Thank you so much for sharing so deeply, brother. Challenges growth in the eye of the storm, also like teaching us that there's peace in the eye of the storm, like holding your temperament, and also the message of like that it'll all pass. You know, no matter what hits you, it will always pass. Also, that impossible is nothing. That's super profound, and that perfect is totally relative. Yeah, that's super, super awesome, man. Thank you so much for sharing. Like, what an incredible journey. What an incredible journey. An absolute pleasure, man. I'm grateful not just for your time here today to show up and share your vibe and your energy and your stories. And I know we've probably only scratched the surface of like how deep that well of stories goes and like the insights from that as well. But also just all the traveling, but all the work you've done on yourself. Like, I think it's a testament, even just the conversations we've had. This one, but the ones prior as well. It's like maybe it's a byproduct of traveling, or you've always like had that, but in terms of just how deeply you reflect on what like life is teaching you, and like just the willingness to take on those lessons, and yes, the adventure, but the curiosity as to what the adventure will unveil on the other side, almost with the energy of conquest or something, you know, like the person that's on the other side of the adventure. So I really appreciate all that work that you've done on yourself, and yeah, just blessings for what's coming forward, man, for like what's ahead and the journey ahead. I'm really excited. For those that want to tune in to Psyman OChen, what's the best way for them to do that?
So I have an online presence called The Nomadic Diaries, which you can find on Facebook. There's a YouTube channel with videos, I think, total of 70 views.
Awesome.
So you guys are welcome to spruce that up a bit. And my website links to the Facebook page, which has all the photos. And I'm being republished on the Good Men's Project.
Awesome.
And should be a book coming out soon. I'm still working on last bits of it.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Still happening.
Thank you so much for your blessings, brother.
Thank you. Thank you for this platform to be able to share and to have people of inspiration to come here and share their stories with you, so that you can then share it to the world, and hopefully together we'll manifest this change we want.
That's the whole thing. Let's be the change we wish to see in the world. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Love of the Inspired Evolution and sharing the Love of the Inspired Evolution. If you feel like this content has supported you, or may support anyone else that you know may resonate with the content of it, please share away and share the love around. Thank you guys so much. And to stay up to date on whatever's coming out with the Inspired Evolution, please subscribe. There's all these links in the bio for you to tune into the episodes and all these different platforms, just so that message can get to you and your loved ones. Thank you so much for all your love and support. Stay inspired to evolve.